loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Cryptcast. I'm Mike.
What up, Crypt Crawlers? I'm Brian.
And we are coming to you from inside the Comic Crypt in Eatontown, New Jersey, and we're doing a book review this week. We're doing Something is Killing the Children. Volume 1. That covers issues 1 through 5 by James Tynion. I've always said Tynion. It's Tynion. It's James Tynion.
Like, you've heard it pronounced?
Because
I've heard a million people say Tynion.
Yeah, but I believe it's Tynion because he created like a publishing house, and it's called Tiny Onion.
Oh, shit.
So that leads me to believe it's Tynion.
Okay.
So I've switched my pronunciation after learning that. But it's him.
That's why I never want to meet these people in real life. You go to a con and meet these people? No.
Look,
what do I call it? Hey, Mr. Artist guy, writer guy.
So it's Tim Werther, Dell'Edera, and it's originally published September 2019.
What, Mikel Murto?
I'm sorry.
Doesn't get
I'm sorry. Mikel.
His name's
Murto.
on the cover?
Yes, it is. I apologize, Mr. Murto.
I don't know why. When I was taking notes, I was like, what a group of creators with cool names.
Mm-hmm.
Werther, Dell'Edera, Mikel Murto. Like, this is all really...
Yes.
They sound like superheroes themselves.
That's why they wrote such a cool book.
They did.
So
you liked it?
I liked it overall. I don't think it's doing anything new.
Okay, that's fair. I get Buffy vibes.
Right, exactly. But how many times have we had a Monster Hunter deal? Buffy obviously is like, there's a small girl doing it, but like, not small girl, but like petite lady.
Yeah, it's and same vibes, petite lady.
Right.
Definitely. Not that Buffy is not a badass, but definitely.
Oh yeah.
Way more.
Yeah. Well, it's the tack it's taking is like, oh, this is fucked up. Yeah. All of it's super fucked up.
Yeah.
She knows it. Everyone else in the book knows it. I mean, there's dead kids all over the place.
I mean, I will. I like the honesty of the book because, like, the people who are being dragged into this and know that something's not right. Mm-hmm. You know, the principal stands out for me.
I love the principal.
Yeah, the principal. The
principal's great.
Yeah. So it's got that kind of like reaction that you want people to have instead of that like fictional stupidity where everyone, what's going on? People go, no, shit is fucked up. This is not cool.
And that comes through in everybody.
Yeah.
The sheriff, Tommy, the tail that gets put on Erica later, or like everyone's like making decisions like, oh no, a real person. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Other than like the coroner. The coroner I found hilarious.
Yeah, but it was a satisfying read.
Yes,
in the responses of people being.
Well, as I said, it felt like this is how people would actually react.
Right.
People deal with grief and they're scared and all this stuff. And this lady comes in and is like, "I'm going to take care of it. Don't worry about it."
Yeah.
Well, tell me what's going on. No, I will not tell you what's going on.
Not answering questions.
Right. You will never believe me.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Again, but it's not doing anything special. So I would like to read more.
It's easy to see why it's still going now.
Yeah, it's 40 some odd issues in.
Yeah, 40, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's easy to see that it is.
Yeah.
Even that being said, I was kind of surprised when I got a spinoff.
Oh, the
House of Slaughter.
It's something else.
No, it's House of Slaughter.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay. I thought it was something else, but I believe you're right. Yeah.
But again, you read this, you get context, and the St. George Council and all that shit. Mm-hmm. Like you go, oh, okay. Like, yeah, it would make sense that there are other monster hunters and whatever. Yes, sure. Mm-hmm. We can dive in because I think we have praised it enough.
Sure. The book starts with 4 boys at a sleepover, and they're playing Truth or Dare. And our main boy, his name is James.
Yeah, James is with us throughout the book.
Yes. He gets asked, what's the most scared you've ever been? And then he makes up a story about a tall thing that's as tall as a tree with long fingernails and sharp teeth in his yard. And they call him a liar. So because he's mad at that, Noah's next. It seems like he picks Dare because we end up in an interview room with James. And I just want to do an aside. That Slender Man kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I also had a boogeyman when I was younger that was like that.
Well, you have sleep paralysis, right?
It wasn't that. Yeah, I get sleep paralysis, but it wasn't that. Growing up in my grandparents' house, there was like a little thing of woods, but they were like super tall, thin, like pine trees, like scrub pine, and they were like crazy, and they would freak me out at night when I was really little, and it made like a Slender Man type monster in my head, like tall, thin thing that was like, it's creepy.
I like some of the dialogue of the kids during the sleepover part because Noah is apparently upset that James chose truth. Because it's like, I had to run around the house naked. It's like, yeah, well, you chose there, bro. Know.
Right.
And, James, liking that they like hearing his stories.
Yeah. They
it's
enjoyed hearing his nightmares and shit like that. Yeah,
it's almost like, it's like, yeah, we did Truth or Dare just to hear you tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we knew you were going to do Truth, so.
Right. But, so, again.
But this time it was different.
Yes. It did not work out for anybody. So James is in an interview room with a police officer, and he's got blood all over his shirt, and he looks absolutely traumatized. So we find out that he fell into the ravine behind his house, and then heard his friends screaming. And he's like sobbing as he's telling this.
His friends, followed him out there to investigate the monster he claims that he saw.
Well, that was the dare, is I'm going to dare you to go outside.
Right, yeah. They go out there. But James also admits to the officer or detective that, it was fake. It wasn't real. He was making the story up.
Yeah, monsters aren't real.
Yeah, one of the things he used as an excuse is that he was home by himself when he saw the monster because his dad had taken his sister to soccer practice, and he's telling the detective, he's like, my sister doesn't even have soccer this time of year. He's like, I lied about the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I slipped on a wet root. I fell in the ravine. I heard them scream. It was all bullshit.
Yep. And then we get a title page, and we jump 2 weeks later. And there's a little girl with one eye and a missing arm sitting in a red wagon with a backpack.
With a backpack.
And then a woman wearing a white tank top, some black pants. She's got a bandana tied around her mouth. It's got teeth on it.
Yeah, almost like a Venom smile, if you're familiar with Venom.
Kind of. She's got very large, kind of pale green eyes, blonde, and she's like a petite lady.
Yeah, blonde hair pulled back into a ponytail, like real Buffy Summers vibes. Like real,
very much, yeah. Also, she is absolutely covered in blood and gore, carrying 2 machetes.
Yeah, that too.
And she comes over to the little girl. She sits down next to her. She chugs a bottle of water and says it's over. Then she gets a call on her flip phone from St. George.
He killed the dragon.
Well, that would, that lines up with the tattoo and the whole symbol and stuff, right?
Right.
So she answered that flip phone, and you just hear her side of the conversation, and she said she'll be in Archer's Peak in 16 hours.
We praised the book so much. And one criticism. The panels...
The panel layout
is really fucked sometimes.
It's not...
Because sometimes it reads across both pages, and sometimes it stays on one page.
Yes.
So it's kind of like, what are you doing?
You do have to figure it out. I wanted to praise the fact that they're using a different panel structure, because, artists rely on particular things, right?
Yeah.
This consistently uses that double page, panel read. And I
think sometimes it doesn't.
It doesn't all the time.
Yeah, and so it fakes you out.
So
you start reading across, and you're like, wait a minute.
You do have to figure it out. Yeah. But once you can kind of get into the rhythm of it, I think it works.
It makes you pay more attention.
Well, it also gives you just a little extra room to kind of do a little more. You know what I mean? You're going to technically get the same amount of panels either page, no matter what you do. But I think it reads better that way.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't. I started reading panels out of sequence. And I was just like, no, that's not. Yeah.
But the point being, it's an odd panel structure that we don't typically see.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's usually with those smaller ones. Like the Bendis boxes, he would always have the little fucking, there'd be a million fucking boxes on a page because we had interview style.
Talking heads.
But we jump to James. He's going back to school, and he's fucking getting harassed. This kid's been through enough. But they're harassing him because they're saying he killed his friends.
Only one's harassing him. The other one intervenes and breaks it up.
He tries.
Yeah, he drags the other kid away. Dan is being an asshole, and the unnamed kid drags Dan away.
Yes. But yes, he's getting bullied for saying he killed his friends, and possibly being gay. And then after that fight, because he just yells, "I said shut the fuck up!" On the stairs of the school, he goes to the principal, and it's the coolest principal ever.
Yeah,
like you said, he's just a great character. It's just a great little interaction, despite like the tragedy going on, because like the principal knows everything's fucked. He knows that James is going through some shit. He's like, "I'm new, man. I'm just out of school. I don't know what to do."
Yeah, he's like, "I don't even know what I'm doing here."
Like he starts to cry during their interaction together.
Yes. Well, the principal also explains that there's 9 kids dead in 2 weeks, not just James's 3 friends.
Yeah.
So the fact that like James is being accused for killing his friends is bullshit. The principal knows it's more than that, and James isn't responsible. And he also, since he's the school principal, he's talked to the police officers, he's talked to the sheriff. The sheriff told him they think it's a rabid bear. So, even the principal can smell bullshit. So, this is a frustrated guy. And, I think it's kind of cool that he's shooting this little kid real straight.
Yeah. Well, he even says, James goes, "Are you going to call my dad?" And he's like, "Nah, if I call him, I'm going to tell him that you should have beat the shit out of kid Dan."
Yeah. He said, what did he say? All my time teaching here, he's like, if there were one kid, I would punch in the face. That kid Dan.
Yeah. Well, look, an asshole's an asshole. Doesn't matter what the age they are.
The thing that confused me too. So here he's like, "Hey, do you want me to let you go home for the day?" And he goes, "No." He's like, "They're showing movies in whatever class." He's like, "I like the movies." And he's like, "All right, you go to class." And then like later on, it seems like it's after school, and his family, I guess his house is a crime scene, so his family's now staying in a hotel, right? But then he meets up with Erica, and they go to map shit out, and like they go to a diner because the restaurant, because they have
it's Applebee's.
Yeah, it's an Applebee's.
It's apple. What the fuck? It was apple
something.
Apple beans or some shit.
Yeah, apple beans. But she's like, "Oh, they have big tables, so I can lay my map out and strategize." And
also, no one goes there anymore.
Yeah, no one goes there anymore. One of the workers was like, "Hey, didn't that kid belong in school?" And it's like, well,
I mean, I get the vibe that no one's good, like he went through some shit, leave him alone. Like
I get it, but like the kid wanted to stay in school to watch movies. Like he didn't go to school the next day. It also implied that it was like the same day because it moved real fast. There was no
I don't know,
kind of pacing. No, there's no like the next day. There's this, that. The kind of like listen.
You're getting wrapped up in such a small detail,
but it's confusing.
I guess. I mean, you could just go, maybe he left, or maybe it's the next day. Like
I don't know. Like if a principal's like, "You can go home," and I'm like, "No, fuck it, I'm gonna go watch the movie." I get halfway to class and I go, "Nah, fuck it, I'm gonna go home."
Well, let's see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
because after the interaction with the principal, Erica rolls in on a Greyhound into town.
Erica is stoic to say the least. The bus driver tries to exchange some words a couple times, saying, "Oh, terrible about those kids," and all Erica is, yeah.
But she gets off the bus. She sees like the bulletin board that has all the missing kids on it, and she talks to the sheriff like first thing.
Yeah, he's right there.
Then we cut to James, who's going to the A Express because like you said, they have to stay at the motel.
Right.
So he gets dropped off there. Yeah, because there's a school bus leaving him. So it's after school.
Yeah, I mean, I see the school bus there. I didn't get that he was being dropped off or
just
whatever.
Take it for what it is.
Sure.
But so he's getting the message from his dad, and he's staring at the woods behind the motel, and Erica, who we don't know her name yet, but Erica Slaughter, confronts him there.
That's the hard thing about these book reviews when they don't introduce characters' names. It's like, listen, this is her name. We get the reveal comes later.
We just gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta communicate this shit. So she talks to him, and she gets him to kind of tell her what he actually saw, and then we get a few graphic pages of his friends being ripped apart in the woods.
But she provides no comfort to anyone.
No, she is not a comforting person. She's I'm all business. I'm here to kill monsters.
Are you going to hurt me? Probably not.
Yeah.
Cool. Like,
yeah.
It's like, man, you could learn. You could develop a little bit of a bedside manner.
But James went through a lot more than just hearing screaming. Like he saw his friends like ripped apart into pieces.
Like literally pulled half of his friend.
Yeah. half his friend, another one had like arms ripped off, his jaw ripped off, just blood everywhere. It's just a horrible mess. And then we get to see our first monster as he tears a person apart in front of him. And it's like a weird, like, spider monster-y thing. It's hard to describe.
Yeah, it's like a spider monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Erica gets another call, and she says, Class E7, Archers Peak, Wisconsin. Yeah, I've got it handled. And then James asks what she means. And she says there's a monster, and she's going to kill it. And James wants to help. Which also, I guess kids help her all the time. Because she just left that little girl who was there, so she was helping her, right?
Well, wasn't there a thing about only certain people can see the monsters?
Only kids can see monsters.
Yeah, only kids can see monsters.
Only kids can see monsters because they believe in them. Whether they believe in them or not, you still get scared that something might be in the dark at night. You believe in them. Adults can't see them. Yeah.
Okay, so here answers my question anyway, because the guy's waking up and going to work the next day.
Yeah.
So it's the next day. He didn't go to school the next day, or is it Saturday?
Clearly, nobody cares. Like
I know.
The principals, no one's gonna give him shit for not going to school.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And maybe not showing movies in English that day.
That day, right? So I don't have to go. Yeah, whatever. All right.
But we're introduced to Tommy, who he's waking up. He's late for work. His little sister is missing. His mom's a mess. And outside, after he goes through this whole thing with his mom, whatever, he's getting into his car, and he hears like a creak, and he goes, "Hello? Is anyone there?" And the monster is like hovering over his car, dripping blood out of his face, and he can't see any of it because he's an adult.
And it's interesting that like he can't see the blood.
It's part of the monster. Maybe it's not blood.
Part of the monster.
I don't know if it's blood. It might be ooze, like because there's a lot of red in the monster.
It implies blood. It looks like blood, and it's like literally dripping onto the hood of his car.
Mm-hmm. Can't see it though.
Sure, but like it would have been interesting if he pulled up at work, got out of the car, and there was blood on his car. Like,
did I fucking hit something?
Yeah, did I hit something? Yeah.
So it turns out that Tommy works at Applebee's, and that's where, like you said before, Erica and James go to, have big tables to look at maps.
Legit the reason.
What's she say? She says they go there because all these places are going to go out of business in a few years. Nobody goes there anymore, and they have big tables. That's it. And she gives Tommy $50 to be like, "Can I just like leave my stuff in a booth and not have to worry about it?" And he's like, "Oh, okay."
It's like fine. It's like I think a homeless person just decided to camp out in my fucking Applebee's.
Right. And we see her little stuffed octopus for the first time. And she doesn't want you to ask about it at all. It's this little purple and green octopus with a red eye, a little button eye, and a zipper mouth. It's not cute. It's a little creepy.
It's kind of cute.
It's a little creepy.
It's kind of cute.
So Tommy walks up as they have the map open, as they're talking about bodies, because there's 9 found bodies, 14 missing children, and they happen to just be talking about his sister, and he flips out. Where is it? Let's skip pretty far ahead here. Yeah, there's a little scuffle between the two of them. He doesn't want her fucking money, and then he calls the sheriff because she's being pretty suspicious. Suspicious is a hard word to say.
Suspicious is a very inaccurate description of this girl. There is nothing normal about her.
No, very large green eyes. She has a coat that zippers up over half her face, so that's suspicious. And she carries big knives and stuff, talking about dead kids all the time.
Just her fucking dialogue, though. The fact that like she's one word answers a lot of the time. Very, very,
very guarded.
Yeah.
Right. What am I? Oh, she gets another call. She already knows about the fight because like whoever's on that end of the phone, super well informed. They know the call the sheriff went in and they're looking for her already, that quick. Like they are on it. Whatever the organ is. St. George's doesn't screw around. She goes to the motel and starts talking about the case
to her octopus.
And then the stuffed octopus answers her. And at that moment, the sheriff comes to the motel. The manager says he wants her out. There's been weird noises. She opens the door. And there's a weird, ghost kid tentacle monster thing, octopus, over her her stuffed octopus. So there's some sort of entity attached to her octopus.
And it's weird looking.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. Like,
yeah, that's
it's very weird.
That's some saga shit.
There's like petals like at its weight, like, and it's got teeth in weird places. I really don't know what's going on with that.
Nope. And you don't find out.
Never.
Yeah.
We don't see this thing again. Although the octopus does talk a lot more. And it's a dick. Issue 3. Or chapter 3, I'm sorry. They call it chapters. Specifically. This one opens up with a girl hiding and running from the monster in a house. At least 2 or so people are dead already that we see. And as she's trying to escape from the monster, she gets a compound fracture on her wrist. So
yeah, that hurt looking at that.
Yeah. Compound fractures when the bone sticks out.
And these people look like they were dumb because there's a Ouija board in a panel.
Oh, stop.
What? They might have summoned that monster.
There's no way. That's not how this works.
Listen, why draw it then?
What? Why not? It's a bunch of kids having a sleepover.
Yeah.
What
Summoning monsters.
You know, you let it light as a feather, stiff as a board.
You don't fuck around with a Ouija board.
Get out of here. Get out of here. It's a fucking toy. Mattel makes it.
Milton Bradley makes it.
I'm sorry.
And Milton Bradley didn't make it until a certain time, like 1982.
Okay, so someone else was making it, but it's been around a long time.
No, yeah, but before that, they were like not made by companies. They were
made by companies.
Milton Bradley's the first one to mass produce. I have a first year issue Ouija board by Milton Bradley. Before that, they weren't made by.
Fucking spirit boards are a thing, and plenty of people made them.
Yes, but they weren't like manufactured.
Yes, they were.
No,
absolutely, they were not occultic. They are occultic things, but they became games.
Yeah, they became games, but they were occultic things. I went to the Ouija board museum in Salem.
Okay. But I'm saying Ouija was made up as a marketing thing.
No, there's a guy who invented it.
Yes.
And then years later, there was a guy who started mass producing them. Wilford? What?
Brimley?
No. Because it even says so on the box, because Milton Bradley bought it from the guy. There's 3 people involved.
Brown Parker Brothers was the first to produce the Ouija board on a large commercial scale after acquiring the rights from the Fold family in 1966.
Fold.
Hasbro took over after purchasing Parker Brothers in 1991. So it's been in mass production since 1966. Yeah.
But prior to that,
spirit boards existed, but I'm saying Ouija itself has been around a while.
I have pictures of the plaques from the museum with the history of the Ouija board. I have to find them somewhere.
All right. Okay, a little spiritualism sidestep, but this little girl doesn't make it. Monster gets her.
It's because she fucked around with a Ouija board.
We jump over to a bar, and there's a middle-aged guy, and he's lamenting about his son, one of the missing kids. Just missing him. Basically, like it's not. You don't remember them as a baby. You're remembering as the man they would become. And Tommy's there with a couple of his people, and he doesn't trust the sheriff not to let that woman go, to let Erica go. And he says he's going to go basically do what he has to do to make sure that that gets taken care of. At the police station, the sheriff is questioning Erica.
This is a funny part.
I love this. Their whole direction is fantastic. We find out her name is Erica Slaughter from her driver's license that is not real. Because the sheriff goes, this can't be your real name. Also, you made this at Kinko's or something because it's not even laminated.
Like, you didn't even laminate it.
Yeah.
And again, she's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, not even denying. He's like, you didn't even laminate it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's so nonchalant about everything. She's just like, yeah, fuck you. I'm here to kill monsters. Like, she doesn't say that, but close enough.
This is made of paper. So is a Social Security card. This isn't a Social Security card.
So the sheriff is just trying to probe her for answers about anything, and Erica just tells him what he's going to do. He's like, "You're going to lock me up. Oh, you're going to want to lock me up to make yourself feel better and make you feel like you're doing something." He's like, "Yeah, okay, yeah." Because she's super suspicious. She's got knives. She's showing up as the kids are dead, and she's like, "You saw me show up yesterday on the bus. How could I have done it?"
Yeah, I wasn't there.
So she's got all this shit, and he's just again, really taking it in.
Use your head, dummy. She goes right to work she's
Right.
part of the. Who was the first girl? Who was the first that went missing? Excuse me, like.
Right. Like she starts to pump him for information.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. He's trying to figure out who went missing first, because that's going to be important for her to like figure out where the monster is. And she lays out what's going to happen with him. She's like, "You're going to get a phone call. You're going to let me go. The problem's going to go away, and you're never going to know why. And it's going to keep you up at night forever."
Yep.
And like he's starting to get upset. Like, this isn't Milwaukee or Madison or even Green Bay. This isn't a place where these kinds of things happen. Children are dead, Erica.
I mean, you could understand the man's frustration.
Yeah, super frustrated.
Like, she's not giving him any info. She's telling him how it's going to go down.
He's in a super stressful situation because he's the guy who has to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like, it's just not happening. And then another officer comes in.
It's nice, a story where you actually feel empathetic for police.
Right.
It's like, look, you're screwed.
Like, everyone in here is like, okay, even Tommy, who's like, quote unquote, the villain outside of the monster.
Yeah, he's
like,
kind of douchey.
He's reacting in a way that's like, yeah, his sister is missing. Like, he wants to find her.
His kid's sister.
Right,
you know, yeah.
Like, understandable where he's coming from. Like, I get it. Like, I hated him until I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fuck you. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like your answer's to go run, grab a gun.
Right.
Jerk.
Right.
Yeah.
But during that interview, when another officer comes in and says, like, there's 5 more dead. And then Erica convinces the sheriff to let her go so she can stop it. Imagine being that other dude. You're like, hey, boss, did you let that? Should you let her go?
Do we have a reason to hold her? You know,
right? I mean, that's
a good
fair.
one.
But to that end, like, he puts that officer on her as a tail,
Right.
just to keep an eye.
Hey,
Right, smart.
that's a precaution. You got a strange person in town. They could be connected. Maybe they didn't do it. Maybe they know who did it.
Right. She leaves the police station, and James is waiting outside for her on a bench. Looks like he's reading a comic book. I was reading a comic book. Erica talks to her stuffed octopus, who says the kill pattern is more consistent with a Class B than a Class E. So all this classification shit means nothing. They never follow up on any of it. I'm sure it gets fleshed out later.
Again, to be fair, this is the first 6 issues of something that's up to 40-something.
I know.
So, like...
I want to know monster classifications. And I'm very much into monster design. I'm not into this monster design. I didn't like the monster.
Yeah.
I would like to see what the other monsters look like.
And that's the thing. I think that's kind of something that, like, almost leans in and helps this book a bit, is that the artwork is quite nice and tight when it comes to the characters. But when the monsters, it's kind of a sloppy mess.
Yeah.
And not the octopus apparition is very clean and very nice, but the monsters that are killing people are very insect-looking, multiple eyes, black, blobby, sketchy
no eyes,
kind
you
of
can only
stuff.
smell. He's blind.
What?
Yeah, the monster's blind. Those aren't eyes. Those are nostrils.
The fuck? They look like eyes. Those are eyes.
They're nostrils, though.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Those are eyes. Like we
At the end of the book, she says so that they can't see you, it can smell you though.
We've addressed that they are spider-like, and they're spider-like because those multiple dots in the face. I don't care if they're holes for noses.
Yeah, but it's spider legs with a human torso and giant arms.
It's only got 4 legs.
Yeah, and it has 2 arms.
And
so
2 arms.
6,
It's like
so
a centaur. Yeah.
So we go through this classification bullshit. I just wonder what the other monsters look like. So James wants to help her, and she yells at him. They both apologize to each other.
Are you talking to your octopus? Yeah. Cool.
And she goes, James, shouldn't you be in school?
James, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and that makes him like upset. But basically, she's like, all right, fine, I'm sorry. He's just, yeah, me too. And then they're like, oh, we need lots of weapons. Then we go to our second not real copyright infringement thing, House Depot. Apple Beans and House Depot.
You know, the buildings, the Applebee's, the House Depot, the cars, and the parking lot almost look like clip art. They're drawn so well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, this guy, very talented. I wouldn't be surprised if there was an overlay thing going on here, especially with the cars.
Yeah, because otherwise, like, this guy should have been an architectural drawer. This guy
could have been.
his calling.
Yeah, you don't know what his origin is.
Guy should be designing bridges and shit.
Even the chainsaws, like the wall of chainsaws, is like.
Yeah.
I don't want to take anything away from the guy, but like if that was me, I would have just drag and dropped a fucking image in there and like colored over it.
Hey, you got deadlines.
You're right. Again, he could have absolutely drawn this whole thing. I'm sure he did. I'm just saying, for me, that's impossible.
But Erica's chainsaw shopping.
Yes, chainsaw shopping.
She doesn't want something nice and new. She wants to see the rundown, shitty models.
But, like, the guy's talking about all the great safety features and all this and all that, and she's like, can you just give me the one that's super unsafe, the one that'll just keep running and cut through anything? And the guy's like, that's not what I meant, ma'am. And James comes running up with a pair of hedge clippers because he thinks they're pretty dangerous looking.
She's like, yeah, put them in the cart.
Tommy goes to see his dad in his trailer. He's asleep naked on the couch. And that interaction basically goes nowhere other than seeing an undressed old man in the trailer. But it doesn't need to go anywhere because Tommy's just using it as an excuse to go steal his dad's 38.
Now, do you get the vibe that their parents were already separated?
Yeah, because his dad's living in a trailer. And they were living in the house.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, dad just didn't leave the house after the sister
No, I don't think
went
so,
missing?
because the dad mentions another girl, another lady. I forget the name, but he mentions, like, being mothered or something like that. Oh, yeah, just, like, as he's waking just leave it. Damn it, Cynthia, I told you not to try to make house. So I'm assuming there's another woman.
Okay.
Yeah, so probably divorced. But anyway, Tommy steals his dad's 38. Now we meet the sheriff's brother, the coroner.
He's fun.
He starts by popping. He's wearing an Anthrax t-shirt.
Wearing an Anthrax t-shirt.
And a cardigan.
Had a murder scene, just going, it's pretty gross.
Yep. Popping bubble gums. He goes, the sheriff goes, Tim, hey, baby brother, look. I look at dead bodies all day. If I'm saying it's gross, that means I'm taking it serious. He's just so, like, not fazed by any of it, which I guess is a coroner. Sure.
Yeah, but he seems to lack a little professionalism.
Or empathy.
Yeah.
But gallows humor is a thing, right? That's a coping mechanism.
I mean, like, in defense of the gallows humor and lacking empathy, I think, like, in a job like that, you gotta kind of, like, harden yourself.
Yeah, you have to.
Like,
otherwise, you're going to fall apart.
You should still have some decorum and professionalism, but, like...
He's with his brother,
Sure. There's a comfort level if you're with your brother, like, you feel a little safer, you can say the shit, but there's other people in the room taking pictures of the crime scene. Mm-hmm. You act professional. The lack of empathy and jokes like that could go with just, like, having to harden yourself from seeing that shit all the time. 100%. Especially in regards to children.
Mm-hmm. But they're at the scene of the little girl with the compound fracture. There are 5 more murders there. Tim says if he had to guess who did it, it would be a horrible pervert somehow using a bear's head to kill the kids because he hates them. Because of the clues, because they're, like, torn apart like they're animals. But also... animals eat stuff and, like, go for the easiest kill, where these kids are just torn apart. So there's, like, motive behind it. Right.
Yeah, like, it was clearly not to eat them. It was just to hurt them.
Yeah. But he doesn't know how something huge knocked holes in 2 walls in the house. Because that's a big thing. Because there's literally, like, it looks like a truck went through the fucking walls.
Right.
And didn't... they also mentioned that there's no footprints... No, like, the furniture's not touched. Like, literally, the couch is in front of the hole.
Yeah, unmoved.
Yeah, it's wild.
And then Sheriff Joseph gets a phone call from his friends at St. George.
Mm-hmm. Just like Erica said. And then we jump on to James and Erica, who are walking with their weapon haul in a shopping cart into the woods. And James has some questions. It's basically, what are monsters? And Erica says, they're big scary things that eat children. Just, very forthcoming with the information. And she goes over the rules.
What, did you think there was a bigger answer?
Right. She goes over the rules of kids can see them because they still believe in them. Adults can't. And that's kind of it. Like they don't.
So how do, like, if you were a kid who saw a monster and you knew the monster was real and you got old enough, like, you hit a certain age where you just, like...
You probably forget, yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm. You'd rationalize it away, like it wasn't real or like it's a hallucination.
I mean, I don't think James is going to rationalize, like, seeing his friends ripped apart in front of him. Like, that's not something you forget. Like, you become the crazy kid in the institution.
I mean, there could be that. Yeah, they don't say. Oh, say, I'm not giving you any ideas when you have a shopping cart full of weapons. You can already see them, and when you're older, you're going to want to forget. And he says, no, I won't. Yes, James, you will, and you will be better for it, okay? That's it. So she's saying he's going to want to forget it. He packed that trauma away. But Erica's ready to start hunting, and she's telling James that he can't come. He throws a little fit, and then she basically gets to go with her now. But she set up some rules where it's like, hey, if we get there and I see it's a particular kind of monster, you have to listen to what I'm saying so I can protect you. And he's like, okay. Then we see the sheriff radios Erica's tail, the cop that's following her, and tells him to leave her alone. Don't follow her. And he mentions that the sheriff sounds scared after his conversation with St. George. The tail says, fuck it. And he's getting ready to follow her anyway. And Tommy rolls up just right then and cold clocks him with a 38, knocks him out.
Which, like, I wish we came back to that. Like, does that get addressed in a future issue? Because Tommy's getting locked up. He assaulted an officer. Bad choice.
Well, he saw... Look, I'm sure there's consequences after, there has to be, but, like, what happens after, like, they're all cool up until they're not, right?
We're all cool. By the way, you're going to jail.
Yeah, you punched me in the face with a gun.
Yeah.
That's assault with a deadly weapon. Erica finds the monster's cave, realizes it's bigger than it should be, and she yells at her stuffed octopus. Because the stuffed octopus was not being forthcoming with what was going on, or wasn't doing his job, or whatever it is. She calls it, you knew this was going to happen, didn't you, you little piece of shit?
So she was like, you're scaring me. Now?
Yeah.
Now that I'm screaming at my stuffed octopus, I scare you?
Mm-hmm. But because it got a little more serious, she has James hide up on a ridge as she suits up to go into the cave. And she, out of the big bag of weapons and the fucking shopping cart full of shit, she goes in with a glow stick and a chainsaw. Like, you think you want to take more?
And she puts that mask on.
Mm-hmm. It's business time.
Yeah. Battle ready. Mm-hmm. I think this is the first time I noticed she had the tattoo.
Oh, no, it's been the whole time.
Yeah, I know, but I've noticed it on, like, the people on the phone. This is the first time I noticed it on her.
I think you can see it in the beginning, but she's always wearing that big jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she goes into the cave, and she finds a pile of mutilated, rotting corpses of children. And Tommy just so happens to walk in at that moment. She tells Tommy to get down, because the monster is right behind him. And she's not, like, yelling, she's just like, you need to get down now. Because it's, like, looming. See, in this picture, it almost looks like the creature from Black Lagoon.
Yeah, because it's got those, like, ribs on the sides of the neck.
Gill thing going on, even though they're not gills.
Nostrils.
Those are nostrils.
Fuck out of here. It's got a mouth and eyes.
Those are nostrils.
Ooh, look at that shit. Those are mouth and
nostrils.
Eyes.
The book said so. Can't see, can smell you.
It's got a nose somewhere else. It's real big. Maybe the mouth. Maybe the mouth is nose. I can smell.
Maybe all those teeth are noses.
Yeah. It's like, like when cats smell through their mouth, like not their nose. They do that thing with their mouth where they.
No, I don't have a cat.
Oh well, yeah, they do that.
Okay, I can't have a cat. I'm very allergic. Chapter 5.
This sucks.
What?
That's literally the first words in chapter 5. This sucks.
Well, because he's huddled up in the dark on the ridge, cold. Mm-hmm. But then he finds a rotting deer right next to him that's been torn apart. And he has some flashbacks of seeing his friends being ripped apart.
Something's killing more than just children.
Not the deer. Anything but the deer. Take the children, please. He starts to freak out, and then the stuffed octopus starts talking to him, which I think I'd be more scared of than Erica yelling at it.
I would set that fucking thing on fire.
What the fuck? But he knows it talks, right? Because Erica talks to it. I don't know if he's ever heard it, but he knows Erica's talked to it.
And it just starts shitting on him.
Oh, it's a huge dick.
Yeah, it's like you're such a weak little thing. I don't know why she brought you.
Like, it's super, super harsh, but it's clear it's manipulating James to go into the cave and help Erica.
Well, first it tells him to run back home. He's like, you should run back home. You're a scared little kid.
But that it's manipulating him.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, a little baby? You to run home? Meh. And James ends up doing it, unfortunately, because he's going to have a bad time. We go back into the cave, and Erica's not doing so hot. Tommy's still pointing a gun at her, and there's a giant monster behind him. She manages to kind of get a little closer, and she very calmly tries to get him into a safer position, and then pushes him out of the way so she can attack the monster. But while this is happening, like, she's like, okay. It's like, walk towards me slowly. And he goes, I'm holding a gun. She says, I see that. I know what you think is happening, but that's not what's happening. I don't want you to get hurt.
Are you crazy? I told you to drop that chainsaw.
Just imagine talking to someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be under the conclusion that I was pretty screwed. Mm-hmm. And then I'd be very thankful when she just pushed me out of the way.
Right. So she pushes him out of the way. She's got the chainsaw in her hand, and she starts hacking up the monster. But he doesn't see that. He just sees, like, spouts of blood flying out of nothing as she's fighting it.
So I wonder if, clearly St. George, whatever, council group, whatever they are monster hunters. Mm-hmm. I wonder if they can all, like, if they all have the ability to see.
Yes.
Like cause, like, that's why her eyes are like that.
I don't know if that's why her eyes are like that. We'll touch on that more in a little bit because the thing's going to happen. I just want to cover it. But, yeah, so he sees the fight. He thinks it's a trick, and he tries to shoot Erica, but he ends up hitting the monster. She says, no, that just makes it angry. It's like, whoa. You're cutting off its limbs with a chainsaw, and shooting it's going to make it angry?
Yeah.
What the fuck? How the fuck does that work? So Erica and Tommy fight again. He shoots trying to hit her again, and he ends up accidentally hitting James, who has come into the cave to help. And that changes the whole tone of everything. The monster smells the blood of a child and starts looking for him. Erica tries to distract it by taking his jacket off and throwing it. And she says he needs to stay quiet so she can keep him alive. Tommy starts to freak out, and a little girl named Bian climbs out of the pile of rotting corpses.
He freaks out hard. He's like hyperventilating. He can't breathe.
Well, she winded him.
Okay.
She popped him.
Panic attacking.
Yeah, if you look, that he popped.
Oh yeah, she like cracks him right in the stomach. Yeah.
So he's winded. But this little girl climbs out of the pile of rotting corpses, which I think is the most horrific part of this fucking story.
Yeah, like the kid's been away in there.
She's been alive there in the pile of dead bodies. She says that the monster ate her sister, and she's been there a long, long time. That's horrifying. Like, she's gonna end up being fucked up.
No, she'll choose to forget. So that's what I'm saying, bro. I'm like, I ain't forgetting this shit.
I know, yeah. I guess.
Look, you better give me some of them green eyes and fucking hatchet.
We don't know what the rules of monsters are. Maybe they fade from your memory over time.
Start working for St. George.
At this point, Tommy spots his dead sister in the pile. And
parts of her.
Half of her. There's half of a corpse. This is the top half. My sister's legs. So he's holding her corpse, and just to expedite like what's going on, Erica stabs him in the head with the hoard gold from the House of Slaughter, and she apologizes. She goes, "Ow, fuck! You stabbed me in the head." She goes, "I'm sorry," because he gets like a weird blue flash in his eye, and then we get a shot of 5 people sitting at a table. We're assuming this is St. George. They all have sparkle eyes, and they have the same bandanas.
And they all have stuffed animals. What the fuck?
Which means they all have weird spirits with them, right?
Yeah.
And now Tommy can see monsters.
Right.
So she made it so he can see them, which...
He's still a little in denial.
Yeah. He gets the flash of the people. He can see monsters now, and Erica asks him to carry out Bian and James while she goes to finish off the monster.
And finally accepts it and says yes.
Yeah. She's like, all right, yeah. Like, this is the part where it's like, okay, you're cool now. Tommy gets the kids back to the cop that Tommy knocked out just as he's waking up, luckily. And he drives them to the hospital. And then we don't see the rest of the fight, but Erica wins because we just see her talking on the phone. She got back to her bag. She says she'll deal with the consequences. I'm assuming because she
opened
Tommy.
The guy's eyes. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're not supposed to do that. And that they misclassified the monster. It was a mother, and this was its nest. It had children, and now they're out in the town. So that also gives a dual meaning to something is killing the children, because the monster was killing the children. Mm-hmm. And now Erica has to go kill the monster's children.
Double entendre.
Mm-hmm. Well, double meaning. Double entendre is when you make it like a weird sex thing.
What?
And that's the book. Ends there. It's a quick one.
It's a quick one. I think it was kind of what also made it palatable.
Well, you said before, it was very straightforward.
Yeah, it was a fast-paced, just good story, good art. It was, kept it moving.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't bog you down with a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
She talks in this, these classifications and stuff like that, so it feels natural, it feels real. It's just we don't know it yet because we're not on the InSpeak.
Right.
We'll find out later when we get to know the House of Slaughter a little more, right?
It's building the lore. It'll
Right.
reveal that stuff. Well, in theory, it'll reveal all that in time.
Sure.
More.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
But like it just everything feels natural. It feels like we said before. It feels like people reacting how people would actually react, other than the children who are kind of like, "Hey, I was in this pile of rotting corpses. Help me."
Yeah, wildly brave. You know. Yeah.
So, yeah, solid read. It was at the time it was coming out. I was like, nah, no thanks. I ended up skipping it, and this was definitely like a slow build thing as far as popularity goes. It was like small, and it's just gotten more and more fandom as the ball kept rolling.
Yeah, you can't look at something like this that's still going. So few indie books get the power to even hit the midway point to 100.
Right. You know? And it's almost there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So like, you know,
and it spawned a spinoff.
Huh?
And it spawned a spinoff, like you said.
Right,
like,
and it spawned a spinoff. So in the last however many years, like, or even since you've been reading comics, like, what indie titles have breached 100?
None. Well, Walking Dead.
Invincible.
Yeah.
You know, and both Kirkman books. You know,
Fables.
You know, Fables. Like, you know, so.
But also, like, the indie model has changed. People don't go for the ongoings anymore.
It has.
It's more palatable for Jesus, it's more palatable for readers and publishers, I think, to work in minis and smaller stories than it is to do big, long, ongoing things.
Well, I think, you know, it's so hard for an indie to catch that kind of momentum that they would much rather feel the audience by putting out a mini or something like that first or whatever. But I feel like in regards to writers that like there are people who want to write and there are people who want to write comic books. And if you want to write comic books, I would say there's like two paths, right? You want to write for the big two because you want to write for properties that like you read growing up and that you have a love for. Like, oh, I dream about writing Spider-Man, you know? Yeah. And then the opportunity to write creator-owned, which I think there's two perspectives on that. Whereas like I want to write something good and it could be self-contained and done. Like it could be a one-shot or a mini. Or how long can I carry something, you know, because, and it's not a true statement, but the ones that have the longevity prove themselves in their greatness by standing the test of time. Yeah. And I'm not saying that a 5-issue mini can't be great, right, in measurement to an ongoing, but there's no debating
that something is good when it has a count.
Right.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You
know? You have to be able to, like you said, carry yourself for that long.
And when you're also, when you have the problem with an ongoing too, is especially with indie books, hiatuses. If you can survive hiatuses, then you're fucking amazing. Yeah. If your fandom's still there when you decide to come back, whenever that is, because it's arbitrary, there's no, oh, we'll be back in a year, and that doesn't usually pan out. Usually, you know, like it could be like 2 years or whatever.
I mean, Saga's a good, or probably the best thing of that, where it's like we'll be gone for a little bit. We'll be gone for a little longer. It was like fucking like 2-3 year cap, and it's fuck.
But the fandom's still there. It comes back. It's still strong, and people are still looking forward to it.
I don't think this had any major hiatuses. I think it's had some delays, maybe lengthy delays, but it was never like super long.
Right. No straight up hiatuses. You know, and we're in the 40s. You know, like that's.
It's something, yeah.
Yeah, like for us to be in the industry, and like we both passed on this when it came out. Yeah. You know, and you look back and go, oh, all right, well, 40 years ago, roughly, like, you know, like it's 12 issues a year. Let's say it's 4 years ago. Like, you know, all right, superhero stuff was better. We're very entrenched in that. You know, like it's like, all right, there's all this stuff. But if anything's going to be around that long, yeah, we're gonna have to at some point be like, oh shit, what the fuck did I pass on? Well, I gotta, right,
you know, right. Never mind, like the single issues of that, like the the first 10, first 8 or so, like skyrocketed in price.
Yeah.
You know, like they're still really hard to come by.
And that's the other thing too. Like me as a shop owner, like I sell comics. That's what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I had the first bunch of issues of Saga, and they went up so valuable, and people were looking for them. It's like, well, I guess I stopped reading Saga. Here, take my comics,
right?
And I will happily sell them to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I need to go back and read Saga by trade eventually because I think I've only read like the first 4 issues.
Oh, it's very good.
Listen, man. By the time the 4th issue came out, number 1 was like $150, and I was like, "Fuck it, give me $150.
Sure.
Take my number 1."
Right.
Like, yeah. So, like I said, it's almost like a job requirement when books hit these numbers where it's like, oh, I should know it. Like I need to know it.
Right.
And I will definitely read the rest of it. Like,
yeah, I would like to read more now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going to get caught up and start doing singles.
Sure.
You know, but well, what anthology had a
Hello Darkness?
Hello Darkness?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading the mini in Hello Darkness.
Yeah, there's an ongoing mini within Hello Darkness, so you're getting like 2 or 3 pages.
Yeah, which if you could even say reading, because goddamn, the character is so stoic. She's like 2 words on a
right, but it's her in a bar like a snowstorm, and it's people dealing with the loss of children,
right,
and her getting the stories from the bartender.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. So definitely something I will continue.
Agreed. Yeah, it's very good,
and it's nice because it's something that we have multiple volumes in stock of. So
yeah, it's because it is good. I keep it stocked so people can I can start the series and keep going and get myself caught up.
Yeah.
Yep. So yes, I would say I would definitely recommend this read.
Yeah.
As long as you're okay with horrible violence towards children, but it's in the title, so.
Yeah, and it is graphic.
Yes.
Like it is.
Like you literally see children pulled apart. You see piles of dead corpses, like dead children. Like it's not great. It's not overly gratuitous. It doesn't feel like.
I was going to say, because I was just going to ask you, it didn't bother me.
It gets the point across, but it's not like they're reveling in the violence. You know what I mean? Like it's letting you know, like this thing is horrific. It's doing bad things, but we're not focusing on it too hard. But it's still there. It's like it's pretty bad without being like, oh, look at it. Ugh.
Yeah, I was more gutturally, emotionally disturbed by things in Black Sad that had no violence. Mm-hmm. Than any of the gratuitous gore.
Well, like I said, like the none of the gore bothered me. It was the little girl, like the implications of the little girl being alive in there. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's rough. That's scary. That's horrifying kind of thing. So yeah, I would say if you could stomach violence towards children, it is a good read. But again, the Monster Hunter stuff, like it's what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's like a bottomless well. You could always go back to that, and there's so many iterations of that kind of story you can tell.
Yeah,
Monster Hunters are like you can do all kinds of cool shit.
Yeah, you said before it's not exactly anything new, but it's done really well.
Yes.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say definitely give it a try if you're interested.
Agreed.
So, thanks for listening. If you would like to email us suggestions for future book reviews or any other reason, you can do that at thecomiccryptcast@gmail.com. You can follow the store on Instagram and Facebook. Links will be in the show notes for those, so you can see when trades and things come in.
Go read this book.
Read this book, yeah.
We loading up the hearse, throw it in reverse. I come from the church of the Marvel Universe. Bodies getting stuffed in the bags like comics. The hardcore get it while the soft bitches vomit. I came to this earth on a radiated comet. Now the planet is in perilous danger because I'm on it. Fly super villain with the superpowers in me. Got the rare issues and all my shit is minty. Body like Ben Grimm, suckers I be beating down. Look around and we be found chilling out in Eatontown. I be at the comic crypt stacking up the kryptonite. Doomsday and Superman every time I grip the mic. Dark Phoenix overloading, supernova sunspot exploding. I'm the Punisher reloading Bobby Drake when he's frozen. Storm forming ominous clouds over the ocean. Working with Professor X to master my emotion. Have you posing in the box whether you know it or not. I'll easily bag your bitch like Logan did to Scott. Mr. Sinister plots when I administer shots to clone gene from a genes, then this shit'll get hot like Inferno. Burn slow, humans are ash. God loves, man kills in the days of future past. Now I'm working on a science lesson. Me and Brian Stratton, a rat in a cage who can't stop buying X-Men.
Like a flower that blooms in the spring. You were beauty, you were